Lisa, first of all, thank you very much for your kind introduction, and also from my side, a very warm welcome to our audience all over the world. For me, as a football fan, a technology enthusiast, but also, last but not least, as a founder of this company, this is a very special day. But I guess not just for me, also for the whole football and sports community. Today, we are proud, together with FIFA, to announce a one-of-its-kind collaboration in the field of live player tracking. In the context of this collaboration, KINEXON has been appointed as the world's first and currently only preferred provider for live player tracking. And what does this mean? So what's the purpose behind that? Our joint goal is that together we want to bring digital evolution right to the football pitch, and from there to the whole football community around the world. Our goal is really to drive the experience. I mean, we're living at a time where every activity is associated with the experience that you feel either as a coach or as a player or as a fan. And together we want to drive that experience to the new level, as I said, for all stakeholders in the football universe. And while we do so, we want to preserve the spirit of the game. We do not want to change the spirit of the game, but really to bring innovation to football. And how do we achieve this? In the end, we achieve this by bringing digital technology to the field. We want to enable the stakeholders to get new fascinating insights, to make informed decisions in real time. But at the same time, we want to create also new fascinating insights that help the fans around the world to increase their emotions, to increase their engagement with the sport. And in this context, KINEXON will contribute its core technology, which consists on the one hand side of wearable technology based on ultra-wideband technology, on 5G ready GNSS technology, but at the same time also will contribute our know-how in the field of analytics platforms.
Thanks to you, Lisa, Oliver, for putting on this event in these times, not obvious. I think we're really happy to be able to talk about this here today. If I can take one step back, FIFA started looking at technologies and in specific these tracking technologies, which we call electronic performance and tracking systems, EPTS, in 2015. Back then, this was something that was coming up and growing technologies, and we wanted to see, okay, how can we leverage it for the good of the game, very much like what Oliver was saying. So the first question we asked is, what do these systems do? How good are they? And so we've gone through 5 years of really validating with research partners, with the industry, with our football stakeholders. And we feel that we've now precisely come to a point where it's about taking this all to the next level. We're confident that the data collection in itself is something that can be done relatively accurately. And now it's about, okay, how do we get the next level of quality out of the data? How do we get better live data to be used in game? How do we interact more with our football stakeholders, the ones you mentioned, players, coaches, with our research institutes, but then also with the industry? And Oliver said it, it's the first collaboration of this kind, so the first preferred provider for electronic performance and tracking systems, but we hope the first of many. So for us, it's really important that we have an open dialogue with the industry, that we look at the forward-thinking companies, I think, that have a total solution, that share the vision, that are really thought leaders in innovation, that really want to improve it. And I think for us, FIFA, the core part is not just to look at the top teams, but to make this also available to as wide a scope as possible. So really the main qualification here, I think, is the innovation spirit, the thought leadership, and really the idea to want to improve the game, let's say, together with our stakeholders, together with us.
I think in first, we have to say that I would agree with all the points that Nicolas has mentioned. Today marks the kickoff, so we're at the beginning of the 90 minutes, and we have a lot of work in front of us, but we have a clear goal, really, to shape that ecosystem and to provide clear answers and solutions to the whole stakeholder community, and those solutions have to be sustainable. So one of the things that I really liked about the conversations with FIFA is that they have a very deep insight into the needs of the community, but not just a let's say, a community of the top clubs, but they have a global perspective on the football community. So they include, I would say, a huge variety and diversity of different teams, men teams, women teams, youth teams, the older teams, first league, second league, third league. So they provide, I would say, a holistic perspective on that universe. And together with us, they share the ambition to create technology, not just for the elite, but let's say for a broader set of stakeholders so that everybody can participate. And through that democratization of technology, I think we can make a huge difference in the future. And I would like to give you one example that I really like because it's absolutely compelling. If we take the example of injury prevention, then as Nicolas said, there are some teams that can afford a huge staff that deals with this topic, but especially those clubs that have smaller budgets, are in lower leagues or in regions that do not have the financial opportunity to afford them. Technology can make a difference by measuring data in real time and giving you informed opportunities, or let's say substantiated decisions, so that you can decide when you think that a player could maybe suffer an injury. And this will help you, even though you do not have the financial power or the reputation, etc., to use, let's say, core elements of technology that help your team, the individual athlete, to stay healthy, to become better. And the great thing about this is that this journey is now about to start. So we have a lot of work in front of us. I think this is one of the aspects that we can use. And I think if you combine the insight, the market intelligence, or the user need intelligence of FIFA together with the normative power to shape also certain standards within the industry. And on the other side, you take the technological expertise and the proven capability to translate technology into a benefit for the customers. Then I think you have a powerful couple that will be enriched also by other ecosystem players, as Nicolas said. And this is the way how digital transformation works nowadays.
Of course, thank you, Lisa. KINEXON Sports for the best experience and performance in sports, and in particular in football. When we started in 2014 and equipped our first innovation partner with the technology, FC Augsburg, our major claim and promise to them was for the best performance and experience in sports. Since then, a lot of things have changed. We have 400 customers globally. We do a lot of things different than we did in 2014, but the one thing that stayed the same is our major promise is for the best experience and performance in sports. How do we do that? At KINEXON, we are a group of sports enthusiasts. We are tech lovers, but not experts in all the fields. But the one thing that we want to do is we want to help our partners to get new insights, valuable insights about football performance from different kind of perspectives, physical, tactical, and technical performance. And those kind of stakeholders can be a player, a coach, a club, or even the fan. And the one thing that is core to our philosophy, since we are not experts in all fields, is we work very closely together with our partners. We learn and educate at the same time. So on a daily basis, all of our customers give us feedback on our solution. It gives us feedback on how we can improve. We try to incorporate that in the current version of our solution, and then go back to the customer, educating them how to use the solution the best way to get the most out of it. With the partnership of FIFA, actually, and the FIFA preferred provider certificate, if you say so, for live player tracking, we bring our journey to the next level, to the next milestone. And that is a particular honor and a great recognition for the hard work of all the KINEXON employees doing their job, increasing the value and experience for our customer, and also is a great responsibility for us to continue our work for the innovation in football. When I look at the development of football, and we as a company look at the development, the one thing that we clearly see is it becomes faster and it becomes more intense. And with that kind of professionalization of football, also the requirements of our technologies changed along the way. It became clear that data reliability is core to it. User experience, because time is so valuable to the coaches and the players, becomes key. And the insights and the content that we are providing, it needs to be instantaneously. So live is key. And those requirements define our major ingredients and characteristics of the solution that we are providing. It has to be very precise because context and credibility is key for our partners. It has to be automated because user experience and seamless processing of data and availability of data and information is key for our partners. And it has to be live because instantaneous feedback and content is key to our partners. And that ingredient really actually defined how we designed KINEXON One. KINEXON One, our product offering for our partners in football. And we prepared a quick video to illustrate that. And ingredients of that KINEXON One product are our core LPS solution that we became famous for, that already incorporates precision, automation, and real-time readiness, but it accompanies now with a new innovation that we bring to the table, a 5G empowered GNSS solution that brings the same kind of characteristics to the table, and also adds the ability and capability of scaling it to multiple pitches and traveling across the world. And it all comes together in one platform that provides our partners with the insights on the performance side, and then sums up to a great experience and great performance for our partners. This short video shall take about 90 seconds as it suits to a football scenario. I would say spot on. While technology is the core of what we're providing, the applications of the technology actually make them unique and valuable to our partners. I want to focus on 3 applications that are currently the most used. First of all, it's player health and performance. The second one is team football performance. And the third one, fan engagement. I take an example for player health and player performance. Our innovation partner, TSG 1899 Hoffenheim, they do a tremendous job helping their team to actually manage the hard workload in a season like this under the circumstances of COVID-19. They managed to work with their athletes with on-field performance diagnostics to help young players to develop and reach a new level of top performance. And they're measuring return to play protocols for injured players to actually stay on track and really help them to keep on their pace way back to competition on a healthy way. Second major application, really improving the way you play football. Our pioneers of Bayern with Leverkusen actually using not only player tracking, but also ball tracking in practice to really develop on the development of the squad by looking at the speed of the game, how quick their transition after they're losing the ball, how everyone is contributing to pressing, how is the difference between speed without or with the ball, and also like how can they increase the speed of the game and the ball movement of the players by keeping the same quality of passing. And the final application that is very popular today is using the data actually to increase the fan engagement. how can I personalize the content and actually give me the perspective of the performance of my favorite player? How can I look at the development and actually performance of my fantasy team? And ultimately, I have a couple of questions watching Champions League and see, can my team keep up the high speed and pace of the game over the course of 90 minutes? There's still a lot of homework to do, how we can make this game fascinating, even more fascinating through technology, but I think we are at a good starting point. And we prepared another short clip illustrating those key applications. Spot on.
For example, for players to just track how they are doing, if they are being tired, also to prevent injuries, for example. And I also think it's good, you guys talked about, for example, the pressing part, and I remember after the Euros, we also got a few statistics from the coaches. And so they also showed that we were being really compact, and that was also what made us successful compared to other teams, which is really interesting to see. And I think it can help also tactically to be to just be better. And if you see those things on the screen with, for example, a meeting with the team, that is something that you can train on and you can improve and, you know, just become better as a team.
That's a very good question, Lisa. I think the most pressing thing in the beginning is like build up credibility, because people need, if you implement something new, you need to take them through what's the value for them. So why should players use that, and why it's a benefit for Dominique wearing a wearable in practice, actually getting information about her health data, about your performance data. So it's all about building up that credibility, reliable information that should be at hand, but also being able to communicate why it's worth actually investing time into things like that. And that's something that we learned a lot from the NBA. When we first partnered there, the 76ers, they had like a director of performance, David Martin, and they used our technology to help their then injured star player, Joel Embiid, getting back for competition. And the one thing that I learned there is like, it's all about communication. So it's all about involving the player way before he had to wear the wearable, but keep helping him why we're doing that. And communication is so important to build up that trust and faith into technology. And that's what we are trying to learn from our partners and implement then when we approach new leagues, federations, or clubs.
Yeah.
I think data is a big topic and become a bigger topic in the future. I think in the future it's very important that you not only train the whole team. It's always important as a manager to focus on the individual players, and to control these things by data is important. I listened to the conversation 2 or 3 minutes ago and heard something about certain runs after the training, or to control the effort of the guys and to control the training. It's still a big topic for me, but also I think the future become more important to control tactical things. I think that's the most important topic for me as a manager, to work with KINEXON and other systems, and with the coaches to get more information about the tactical things. I think every manager and every trainer has its own philosophy and their own detailed things, thinking about soccer and thinking about training and thinking about the games. So at the end, I think the most important topic are tactical things for me. It's also important to control physical part of the game and the physical part of training. But I think to improve the player in the future a bit better and to improve them more, it's more important to focus on tactical things. Yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea, because it's also an important topic that you get the data as soon as possible. The best topic is if you have the training session and you want to improve your player during a situation, a typical situation, and you get the information as soon as possible, done on glasses or on an iPad or something like that. It's still the best thing. I think I do not have the biggest impact if I get the data after the training session. I think in that moment when I have to improve my player, or when I interrupt the training session, I want to improve him, then I have to get the information, and then it could be a big step for the future.
Yeah, I think just to pick up on what Max said with enabling, and that's, I think, and also what Julian said, I think the importance in data is to be data informed and not data driven, and that data helps you to get more accurate on your predictability and on your forecasts, and it's something where I think it's always going to be the combination. That's why I'm saying content and context. It's always going to be the combination of the data, and then what you make out of it, or how you interpret it, or how you communicate it, and therefore sticking what Max said, I think data should be the enabler, and I 100% foresee that that's also something when we have the exclusive rights for the Bundesliga in Brazil and whole Latin America, and what we're now doing is that we want to move away from this just linear broadcasting a signal. We want to make it, first of all, for the young audience, a match experience where you can invite 5 people and then you share the match, and you have 5 screens where you talk about it. And then data should be an enabler to understand the match better for those users, so that next to the broadcasting, the live stream, data has to play an important role to interpret what's happening on the pitch, and that the group of the people who are doing this match, watching the match together, that they can select the data. They say, let's try and see how many kilometers did the defense players, what tackle responses, I don't know, all the and I think that is something which is crucial in a future experience for customers.
We're already working on that, making a more scalable solution that can be distributed to a broader range of customers, not only elite teams, but rather than also second, third, fourth tier teams, maybe amateur teams in the future. And the first step is like looking at the elite and see what are the demands of football today, like what are the demands of playing on a level like Dominique does, in terms of how many ball contacts you have, what's the speed of the game, how much time you have actually handling the ball before you pass it over to your player. And I think that is what amateur players and youth players can learn from, and see what's the gap where they have to go through. So it's a transparency that they have at hand, and where they can have like a clear path. Okay, I want to become Dominique. That's where I need to go.